Once again, a big thanks for joining us today at this 156th session of Leadership Talks. As you know that these sessions are being organized by India International Education Council and School Lalaji Solutions. India International Education Council is a not-for-profit organization which is working in the field of education. It has collaborators from 12 countries. India International Education Council aims to create a better world through education. Building quality centers for elementary education approachable for all kids is another goal of IIEC. It is finding best educational practices across the globe and find ways to implement those in Indian institutions. It is also creating more awareness on hygiene and learning disabilities. It publishes a magazine called World Education Review and many other educational reports. It aims to build 100 chapters in different cities by 2022. It will soon open its membership for institutions and individuals. It also imparts training for leaders, teachers, students, and parents. As you know that so far we have conducted 155 sessions. We have received 19,512 registrations, 18,298 questions on national education policy. We have received participation from 8 countries: India, USA, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Nepal, Kuwait, Russia, and Seychelles. From India, we have seen participation from 23 states and 128 cities. We aim to organize minimum 200 sessions. With this, we would be reaching out to 100,000 educators, 20,000 institutions, and 1,000 plus eminent speakers like today's speakers would be joining us to share their thoughts and ideas. Now, I would request you all, please join me in welcoming our key speakers for this very, very special session. Our first key speaker, a very senior education leader, Shweta Vakil ji. Shweta ji is principal with SNVP International School, Pune, Maharashtra. She's a great dreamer, meticulous planner, a person who believes in the ability of self and others around, and a woman of action. 15 years ago, she started off as a spirited teacher. Over the years has moved up as a path-breaking career trajectory and has become the source of inspiration for many in the education field. To make this possible, she's working tirelessly by setting up world-class schools, training institutional leaders, teachers, parents, and by creating a curriculum framework which is exclusively for the 21st century learners. She possesses double masters in leadership and education. She has an amazing track record of serving finest schools in India. To her credit, she is conferred with Youngest Principal Award 2019. She has also been recognized and awarded many times for her contribution to the field of education. We welcome you, Shweta ji. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you for the lovely introduction.
Welcome, ma'am. I'll come back to you. Our next key speaker, another very senior education leader, S.S. Chandok ji. Chandok sir is principal with Sky Valley International School, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. He's a CBSE COE resource person and a freelancer. He also holds a position in Kanpur Sahodaya School Complex. He's associated with many organizations like Kanpur President, as Kanpur President and National Core Advisor. We welcome you, Chandok sir. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
So much, sir. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir. Next key speaker, another senior education leader, Jasprit Kaur ma'am. Jasprit ji is principal with Guru Nanak Dev Public Senior Secondary School, Bhatinda, Punjab. She has 18 plus years of experience in the field of education, 12 years and 7 months as principal in CBSE school. She has received Award of Excellence in Academic Leadership 2020, another award, Best Managed School Award 2019, Ideal Principal Award 2013. She has also been honored by the Ministry of HRD, Government of India. She has also been honored by Priyavaran Dronacharya Award. We welcome you, Jasdeep ma'am. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome, ma'am. Our next key speaker, H.S. Yadav ji, another senior education leader. Yadav sir is principal with Kendriya Vidyalaya, Pathankot, Punjab. He's an educationist, postgraduate in chemistry, BA and MBA in human resource management. He joined KVS as PGT chemistry in 2005, acted as PGT for 8 years, as vice principal for 4 years, and then principal since 2017. He has experience of over more than 18 years in the field of education. He has attended a number of training in educational management, administration, and finance. He has acted as a resource person in various KVS training programs. While working with KVS, he has served in different parts of the country like Assam, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Delhi, Dehradun, and Punjab. Most of these KVs were in defense sector. Recently, in March 2021, he attended a seminar organized by Army Welfare Association as panelist. We welcome you, H.S. Yadav sir. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. I'll come back to you. And our last key speaker for this very special session, a very senior EdTech leader, Jaswinder Singh Ji. Jaswinder Singh Ji is founder and CEO of Wordsworth ELT. Jaswinder Singh sir has an experience of 30 years in the field of education and technology. He has also served as a consultant to UNESCO on education. Wordsworth English Lab is designed for India and is a highly research initiative of ACT UNIF Group. It is a trusted education company with 2 decades of service in technology, education and training. Its expertise in technology, multimedia and content development has been instrumental in presenting a world-class language lab solution for academia in India. In a short span of time, Wordsworth English Language Lab has managed considerable recognition across the country for its unique content and methodology. Over 3,000 installations in institutions across the country stand testimony of quality in product, implementation, training, and continual service provided by ACT UNIF and its committed network of dealers. Welcome you, Jaswinder Singh, sir. Thank you for joining. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you, Rajul. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir. I'll come back to you. With this, we come to the next part of the session, which is the opening remark part. I would invite all our key speakers one by one, for their opening remark. Right. So first, I would request Shweta ma'am, Shweta ji, if we can have your 1 minute opening remark. Ma'am, you are on mute.
I would like to thank you all for inviting me for the wonderful session for today. NEP is an education system that contributes to an equitable and vibrant knowledge society. It is very, very needed for the education system of India today. India being the youngest country in the world today would definitely benefit with this new education policy which has come up. The challenges that we might face here is the strong implementation of it. And I hope all of us together implement it in the most accurate way, the way it is projected and the way it is planned. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta ma'am. Big thanks for joining, and we are very excited with your participation. Now, I would invite Chandok sir. Sir, if we can have your opening remark.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me for a very good session. And about NEP, everybody knows this is a boom for the education of India. It is very much needed because it has been talking about from the starting from age 3 to the senior level education also. So we feel that we are going to get a very positive sign. And although when we start up with a very new thing, the things are difficult, but slowly and steadily when the time passes up, the things come into the 100% picture. And we are having hoping for a very positive sign for this. And the implementation of this policy will be, we are also being told by the boards also and government also to have webinars and this with the parents also, so that we may make them aware that what is the positivity about NEP. So hopefully this will be a very good advantage. We'll have all advantages when we talk about education. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chandok sir. I'll come back to you for your detailed perspective. Now, I would request Jasdeep Kaur ma'am. Jasdeep ma'am, if we can have your opening remark.
Yes, sir. Today, first of all, I would like to thank you all for being here on this talk on the 156th session of Decoding the NEP 2020. Your team is really doing well with this, because we all are getting aware with the NEP, what is going to happen. All the parents, students, even every teachers are also worried about how it's going to be implemented. So with these sessions, definitely we are all going to come together on the stage, and all the queries will be answered strongly. Everything will be cleared, and all the picture in future is going to be clear. Whatever is NEP has been followed, they have decided, we all can help together them to implement it. So once again, I thank you all for being on this here for the discussion.
Welcome, ma'am. We are very excited with your presence. I'll come back to you. Now, I would request Yadav sir, sir, if we can have your opening remark.
Thank you very much, Rajul sir. And I congratulate the India International Education Council and all the this Lalaji School Foundation who have initiated this very, you can say, a memorable concept that they have completed near about 155 sessions on the awakening the people about this new education policy. So obviously the credit goes to the foundation that yes, they have made this thing possible. And as far as this NEP is concerned, I am very much excited about the implementation of this new education policy in our system, in our school. And daily we are reading, we are learning, we are trying to implement this we are planning to implement this new education policy. And no doubt, as the earlier speakers told, that we are always finding the difficulties, the challenges to implement this new policy. So hope that by such type of discussions, the sharing of ideas will be very helpful in making us the policy implemented in a benefited manner. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Yadav sir, for that. I'll come back to you. Now, I would request Jaswinder sir, sir, if we can have your opening remark.
Yeah, thank you. I come from the field of education and technology. So my total talk is going to be on how do we use technology to achieve the mammoth goals that NEP 2020 has put forward to us. I strongly believe that this is a disruptive policy towards the positive side. There's a lot of change, something that we had not imagined. And to achieve that, we will really need to work hard, but we'll have to work smart also. So how do we use technology to cater to some of the other aspects? That's what I'm going to talk about. In my second part, I'm going to talk about, because we come from the language industry, we've worked with more than 3,000 schools in the country in the private sector. And Yadav sir, we work with around 500 Kendriya Vidyalayas for the language labs. So I am going to talk about what change, what is it that NEP talks about when they talk about using local language, using the mother tongue for early foundation years. What kind of languages to do, what is going to happen to English, how should we go about, when it comes to language, because language is the most important subject. Okay, because that's how you communicate. So my total focus is going to be on these 2 points. I look forward to the main part of the session. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jaswinder sir, for your participation and remarks. I would come back to you. Now, with this, we come to the next part of this session, which is the main talk part. I would invite our key speakers one by one for their detailed perspective on the institution topic. But before I invite our first speaker, I must share the learnings which we have had during our last 155 sessions. During our last 155 sessions, almost every participant shared that this is a wonderful document. This document has potential to place India at that coveted position of Vishwa Gyan Guru. But at the same time, almost same number of participants said it's a very, very ambitious document going to be very, very difficult to execute. Many people also cited the example of CCE, that it was also a beautiful initiative, but got failed due to poor execution. Many senior educators who participated said that teachers training is going to be a key concern area. Many people said, yes, teachers training is a concern area, but the bigger concern area would be lack of motivation and intent among teachers to get trained. Many other senior educators said finance is going to be a concern area. A lot of people who participated, shared their assessment that this pandemic has exposed how poor distribution we have for digital infrastructure in our country. So that is going to be another challenge. Many people said, many good schools in urban areas already implementing many of these ideas. So there is nothing new or much new for those schools in NEP. But bigger challenge would be for rural school, budget school, and government school. So, I would request you all that you are, learned people, learned educators, that while sharing your perspective, if you can also suggest some ideas, some best practice which you have been implementing in your institution, so that we all can learn from each other, this session becomes more useful and engaging for all of us. So with that request, I also request, please keep the time limit in mind while sharing your ideas, 10 minutes per speaker, so that we have sufficient time in the end for the questions. And now, with this, I would invite our first key speaker, Shweta Vakilji. Shweta ji, over to you.
All right, thank you. First, let us just take a review of what the National Education Policy for schools is. how it is being developed, what is the difference between the current education system and what NEP demands for, or what NEP has proposed to implement in the coming near future. The key principles when I talk about NEP, it focuses on respect for diversity and local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy. What do you mean by respect for diversity in local context? Does that mean that no more we will have English schools? We will have the the prime language as, you know, as per the state, which will be implemented in all the schools? The answer to this is no. It has always said that the concept of the child has to be cleared, irrespective of what the language is being taught to the child. Through which medium the child is taught is secondary. It has made it very mandatory that we must use local languages and local context so that the child's concepts get cleared. The second key principle that I would like to highlight here is equity and inclusion as the cornerstone for all education decisions. This means that NEP has said that everybody should be educated irrespective of what the limitations they have, be it physical, be it mental, be it financial, be it, locational, whatever limitations. Entire education system has to be inclusive in nature. All schools must have inclusive education with them. They should have resources which would be, available so that inclusion of the curriculum and activities is done. It also has a key principle of community participation, encouragement, and facilitation for philanthropic, private, and community participation. This says, it means that the children are expected to learn collaboratively more. They are expected
Shruti has left, has lost the connection. She will be joining us back, I believe, in next moments. Yes, she is joining us back. Yes, Shweta ma'am. She has lost the connection again. जब तक श्वेता मैम आते हैं, जसविंदर सर, आपने जो स्टोरी सुनाई, यादव सर, ये कितना कितना रेगुलर है ये नागालैंड में इस तरह की?
Sir, it's very regular actually. And when I was there, then one day my neighbor was there, Mr. Pandeji was there, and he was having one very cute cat, actually, white colored. And all of a sudden, he on Sunday, he was saying that, Yadav sir, my cat is missing. My cat is missing this morning, so I'm not able to find out where it is actually. But later on, we came to know that yes, she also this one kind of this mishappening occurred with that cat also.
Jaswinder sir,
cats and dogs and this thing. Very frequent, sir.
जसविंदर सर, आपने जो कुत्ते वाला केस जो बताया,
हाँ जी,
तो आज एक बहुत बड़ा डाउट मेरा क्लियर हुआ आज कि एक वो मूवी में डायलॉग था कि मेरे मन को भाया, मैंने कुत्ता काट के खाया। तो ये नागालैंड वाला ही था जिसने कुत्ता काट के खाया था। ये थोड़ा नागालैंड।
बट मैं आपको बता दूं, राजुल जी, ये स्टोरी नहीं है। वो मेरा जो टेक्नोलॉजी का जो सपोर्ट का हेड है, उसका नाम है मौलिक पंड्या। अब ये पंड्या ब्राह्मण्स होते हैं सर, इन्होंने कभी अंडे को हाथ तक नहीं लगाया होता। अब सोचो, उसके सामने कुत्ता पकड़ लिया, कर लिया, काट लिया। सर वो काम खत्म करके तो आ गया, लेकिन आने के बाद उसने बोला सर मैं नौकरी छोड़ दूंगा अगर वापस भेजा तो। उसके बाद मुझे एक प्रोजेक्ट मिला म्यांमार में, ठीक है। अब मैंने बोला म्यांमार गवर्नमेंट प्रोजेक्ट है, मैं तुम्हें भेजूंगा, सबसे सीनियर। कहता है सर मैं नौकरी छोड़ दूंगा, मैं नहीं जाऊंगा, क्योंकि वहां से आगे ही म्यांमार लगता है। तो ये
जी
सच्चाई है सर। आई थिंक
नहीं, ये
श्वेता मैम आ
बिल्कुल
गए हैं।
सच्चाई है। मेरा मेरा सर इस पे एक सवाल ये है, क्योंकि जो ये वाकया हुआ आपकी टीम मेंबर के साथ में, जो यादव सर ने बताया कैट के साथ में, इसको देख के तो सर जो रेगुलर नॉन वेजिटेरियन भी हैं, कि किसी भी लाइव केटल को आपने पकड़ा और इस तरह से किया, तो वो भी नॉन वेज खाना छोड़ देंगे।
ऐसा
तो
नहीं है सर, ऐसा नहीं है। आप देखो, आप यू लुक एट चाइना। अच्छा, जापान में तो इसको कहते हैं कुकुर। जापान में इट इज अ डेलिकेसी। तो ये हमें ऐसा लगता है बिकॉज हम इंडिया में थोड़ा रेस्ट्रिक्टेड होते हैं, बाकी बाकी दुनिया में ये सब चलता है।
राइट राइट,
आई थिंक
दैट्स वेरी
श्वेता मैम
वेरी।
आ गए थे सर, श्वेता मैम आई थिंक
नहीं,
आ गए
उनका
थे।
उनका हाँ आ गए थे, लेकिन उनका मुझे लगता है कि कोई टेक्निकल चैलेंज चल रहा है, तो शी
हाँ जी।
अगेन लॉस द कनेक्शन। श्वेता जी,
नहीं
डू वी
निकल
हैव योर,
गए, नो शी इज
हाँ
नॉट
उनका
देयर।
दोबारा दोबारा उन्होंने कनेक्ट कर दिया। सो उनको हम लोग फिर बाद में एक बार ले लेंगे। चांदौक सर, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट, अगर हम आपसे शुरू करें।
बिल्कुल सर, माय प्लेजर,
राइट, ओवर टू
माय
यू सर,
प्लेजर।
ओवर टू यू।
Well, from last few months, we had been discussing for national education policy, ifs and buts, pros and cons. Sir, you had been telling that there are so many difficulties we are going to face. We have been talking about CC pattern, the flexibility. When the flexibility is given for education, it is being misused in education. Then we do not get a fruitful result from it that we had been seeing and we already seeing. I just came up and we had around board practicals over here in our school, and we had been seeing the teachers are coming and I mean, if even the students are not performing too good, then also the children are getting the marks. They're not learning what they are doing. You see, with the education system, what I feel till now and everybody feels till now is that we do not, or the children do not get what they want. दे से सर, वो हमने जो स्कूल में सारी जिंदगी पढ़ा, क्या वो हमारे काम कभी जिंदगी में आएगा? या जो हम पढ़ रहे हैं क्या कभी हमारी जिंदगी में काम आएगा? क्या सर, सपोज आई एम अ कॉमर्स टीचर सर, जो अकाउंट्स हम पढ़ते हैं या जो भी थ्योरेटिकल पढ़ते हैं, तो वी से देम प्रैक्टिकली विल यूज इट, बट व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट साइंसेस एंड ऑल, तो सर क्या ये प्रैक्टिकली विल बी यूजिंग इट ओवर एनीवेयर? व्हाई आर वी स्टडिंग? तो सम स्टूडेंट्स आर सो ब्राइट, दे डू वेरी गुड इन देयर फ्यूचर, बट उस समय वो टीचर्स कहते हैं बड़ा पागल टाइप का बच्चा है, बेवकूफ टाइप का है. But we see that these students say, sir, whatever we are learning, ma'am, what we are learning, do we, I mean, is there any result with this? Are we going to use in our practical life? तो ऐसी पढ़ाई हमें कराई हो जाती है. जैसे हमने वो मूवी देखी 3 Idiots, उसमें जो आमिर खान whatever he did, and it is right actually, but it is not possible for everyone to digest this, that this is also right. They say this is an idiot, he's speaking rubbish about that. So to bring the things into practical approach, once I had a meeting with someone, a very learned person from CBSE. He said we have brought up practicals in the commerce side also and other subjects also, so that the children may not go up with the learning also or rote learning only. They should also go up for experience also, practical experience also. But when it came into around 15 years back, when it came into being with the practicals and all into the other subjects also, we are seeing it everywhere that that is just a formality, where again the children are not learning. The basic or the problem in India is whatever our learning system till now is rote learning, and it is, we can say, I should not use that word, it is useless. When we talk about NEP, see, this topic was told to me, I didn't remember that I have to speak on this. All of a sudden I've just come back from my school and I just started up with it. I'm not made any notes or anything of that sort, but the things are so much common that we can talk for the whole day about this. The foremost thing which, and sir also said that what I say is that there are 3 category schools: A category, B category and C category. When we talk about A category schools, sir already told that they are already doing so many things what is going to be implemented in national education policy. But what about the more lot, the 90% lot who are in the B and C category? That may be private schools or that may be the government schools also. Still we see in the government schools, apart from KVs also, although the KVs, there's a lot of improvement in the KVs still, the government schools which are in the state-wise schools, government schools are there, the teachers are not there, infrastructure is not there. There's a lot of corruption going over there. Still, the government is trying to get up the things normalized. Here, it is needed. With the big schools, with the branded schools, everything is going on since its inception. So I remember around 25 years or 30 years back when we were studying in school. So we used to study in missionary schools, and one of the branch of Jaipuria opened in that area only in the Kant side. So we had been seeing that students have been bringing tabla and guitars and sitar, everything they were bringing, and we used to say at that time, "Ye kya faltu ke expenses karate hain? What is all this? I mean, they are very expensive schools and rubbish they are doing." And right now it is the need of the hour. Chote se bada school kuch bhi ho, they are using it because we know along with the education what we were doing, activities are also needed for the holistic development of the children. If that is not being given in the balance, the child will not be able to develop. Parents are coming to us, they are saying that our student is not bright, he is very dull in studies. We say them that every child comes up with the same brain. The things have to be changed. So when we talk about 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, the most and the main important thing, what I believe that very good is the 5-1. That is when we are bringing the pre-primary education into being. We had been taking, recognition or NOC for class 1 to 8, 1 to 5 and 6 to 8. And then for the affiliations and all, the pre-primary was nowhere. Still in India, thousands or crores of children, they don't do their pre-primary education and they move to class 1 straight away. Either it is Sahodaya school, either it is Navodaya schools, either it is KVs or anyone. The basic what we know, when the parents come to us, we tell them that pre-primary is very important. Whatever basics or the root what they are getting up in pre-primary, they will not get it from class 1 onwards. आप लोगों के दिमाग में ये रहता है कि अभी प्री प्राइमरी में हम किसी अगल बगल के स्कूल में अच्छे छोटे मोटे में डाल देते हैं और अच्छे स्कूल में जहाँ अच्छी पढ़ाई है क्लास 1 से डालेंगे, 1 से चाहिए होता. नो, दिस इज रॉन्ग. Whatever the root or whatever the basics for the child gets, it is being observed also by the scientists all over the world and psychologists also that 85% of the basic brain development is being done in these 3 years till the age of 6 years. So when we are giving them very good education over there, where we are talking about very good education, they are not being given education even. During this pandemic, I had been given around 150 workshops to the schools pan-India. Even it may be, sir, in Gujarat. Some Savarkundla is over there in Gujarat, sir. And there is St. Thomas School. He's the owner and principal also. There I had given workshops and training to the teachers. And on the outer skirt schools, I've been helping them how they can go up with the online education, even they have don't have internet facilities or they have less resources. How the teachers should be trained, that how the school should go on online as it was going inside the school building. So when we are talking about, you are very right that when you gave the introduction, sir, that when we are talking about anything, we should talk about the whole lot. If the A category schools are doing it, they are already doing so many of the things. They are giving up most of the benefits to the activities, and our children are going to these schools. Even my kids are also going to these schools. So we see that with the education also, they are giving a lot of activities. Our child may develop in anything. It may be sports or it may be any of the extracurricular activities. But the thing is, when you come to school education, the basic thing is the very most important positive point. Although all the things which are coming into being, there is nothing negative in the new education policy. And we know when we have to get implemented all these things, problems are there. With the new things, the problem are there. When we are joining a new school as a principal, a lot of things have to be understood, problems are there. But we will get set into it. We feel that now we are very comfortable with that. That is about the business and about the market also. When the new things comes into being, it takes some time. But again, it is very good about the government, and when we are working with the CBSE school, it is very good that they are giving initiative because of the technology. They have been telling us that we should take webinars with the teachers, with the parents also, and with the students also, and we should make them aware that actually what is NEP, न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आ गई है क्या. आपके बच्चे अभी छोटे आके जाके उनको बेनिफिट क्या मिलेगा. आपके बच्चे को बेनिफिट ये मिलेगा कि अगर उसको साइंस में फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री और मैथ्स ही मिलती थी, तो उसके साथ साथ फिजिक्स के साथ साथ वो कॉमर्स भी ले सकता है, साथ में सब्जेक्ट भी ले सकता है. So that will be a mixed combination. You are not confined to a confined learning, because with the vocational education, you will be, along with the, this education, you will get the vocational education also. So academics and vocation, when we'll go together, the interest of the child, whenever we talk about a child, we say if the interest grows into him, then only he'll be able to learn. But we do not talk about this, कि interest जागेगा कैसे. हम लोग हमेशा पेरेंट्स से बात करते हैं कि जिस दिन इस बच्चे का दिमाग मन में आ गया कि मुझे पढ़ाई करनी चाहिए, मेरे लिए बहुत बढ़िया है, मुझे फ्यूचर बनाना है, तब बढ़िया हो जाएगा. बट कैसे आएगा? So this all things in precise about the NEP, everybody knows now. We are also talking, we have had so many sessions here also and many platforms also. We know what things are going to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, everybody is knowing. But the main thing is that what is the benefit? The benefit is from the very root, the child will be getting proper education. With proper education, there will be vocational education. So the child holistic development will be over there, and that is the need of the hour. Whatever way we were studying or we were being taught, now the things and scenario change, and the history, or the economy says that if you do not change yourself according to the environment, you won't be able to survive in the market. That is very well. I think Jaswinder sir, you will agree with that also, because the most important thing is I do give examples, because being from a commerce background, we do give example. We take an example of refrigerator. Like example that Godrej and Kelvinator, they were having the 100% share market from 100 years. All of a sudden, 30 years or 35 years back, a new company Kelvinator, that Whirlpool came in. So they said, यार हम इतने पुराने हैं मार्केट में, हमारा कोई कुछ क्या कर पाएगा. लेकिन कैलविनेटर ने जो वर्लपूल ने अपनी ऐड दी, वर्ल्ड के बॉस आने वाला है, और उसने जो है वो आइस नहीं है, ठंडा कैसे करेंगे, द वर्लपूल क्विक चिल, एंड दे थ्रू इट. एंड हाउ देयर प्रेजेंटेशन वाज, या कुछ भी नहीं, वहां से नॉब उठा के ऊपर कर दी, एंड फ्रॉम बिग टू दे मेड इट स्मॉल. 1 नंबर पे पंखा एसी चलाओगे, 1 नंबर पंखा चलाओगे, और 5 पे चलाओगे, 5 पे तेज चले गई. Presentation. So 50% of the market was being captured. So what in precise I want to say is that if we want to change the learning system or the education system, new education policy is very important. Technology will be used. We know, I had been observing throughout Pan India when I was giving these webinars or these training to the teachers and the management on the outer skirts schools, that without technology also, or with less technology also, we can get benefited with also. There are many ways. If you are going teaching biology, you can go into the garden and you can teach them. If you are introducing vegetables to the children, so there are many things which can be done. And as far as dropouts are over there, that is also a very important thing. That dropouts amongst the children is very much. बच्चे बीच में, we see in the government school, the children, they leave in between class 1 to 5 also, and 6 to 8 also, and there are dropouts on the education, on the graduation level also. So here the stress will be on that the infrastructure for the, especially the state government schools, KVs, so they get their they are, because they are centralized, they get everything. They at this point of time, what I know about KVs is they had online teaching and everything. They are doing much better than the private schools. But when we are talking about the state government schools, where the teachers, they don't go to school, or whatever they do is, now the things will change. The infrastructure will be improved. Technology will also be over there. We had been talking to many educationalists in Kashmir to Kanyakumari also, where they had been talking to the Gram Panchayats, and they've been arranging for different things to teach, to educate the children. So these all things, development will be there. So the children will be able to understand, and the dropouts on the school level will be less. The next thing what I feel is, when in the very important is when you are going for the college level or education or post graduation level. So what the benefit is that, what I don't remember the name, that locker will be given, where if you have done your education for a year or two, your marks will be saved over there. Whenever you are changing up your university or anything, or a girls get married and after 5, 6, 7 years she wants to complete her graduation or whatever it is, she can do it. This is also a very positive sign, and that is what. And there are a number of things which can also be discussed. That regular assessment will be there. Many things, or flexibility will be there among the children, because the subjects will be not limited now. with the vocational education also, the children will be allowed to do what their interest is. So this way I feel that I should not talk much about, because we can talk throughout the day about this, that we should go on the very positive sign, although there are many will be drawbacks or limitations when we will implement this. As sir told us, new education policy, that CCE wasn't effective, although it was a very good thing, but the misuse of that brought a negative impact to that. Here, our as a educationist and as a stakeholder, we should keep this in mind, that collectively we should not see that we have to increase the marks or the of the children. We should see that the holistic development, all-round development of the children should be there, instead of giving them the marks. Still we give children marks when we are getting practicals or anything, but it should not happen. And negativity प्रॉब्लम्स आर ओवर देयर. हम कहते हैं कि आधा ग्लास खाली है, ये मत देखिए आधा ग्लास भरा है, पहले देखे आधा ग्लास जब भरा होगा बाकी ग्लास भी भर जाएगा. Slowly and steadily we will cope up, especially the schools who are in the outer skirts or the B or C category. They will also come. जैसे मैंने बात करी कि हम जब पढ़ते थे तो वो तबला और सितार गिटार लेके आते थे, आज छोटे मोटे सब स्कूल में होता है. This way I think a new education policy and their outcomes will also come up. It may take a little more time than the A category school. But my positivity and my experience of 25 years say that this will be very beneficial for the people from the very beginning, from age 3 to whatever age they are studying. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So that word is credit bank.
Yes, a credit bank. Yeah, there was a short form of that, sir. I
Credit
think.
bank.
Credit bank. It was a 3 alphabet something. It was, I think. Achha, maybe credit bank only. CB, ABC, sir. I think it was accelerated credit bank, something like that. It was, sir.
Academic credit bank.
Yeah, ABC it was. I remember it was ABC. It was a It was a 3-word, 3 alphabet one.
Right. Thank you, Chandok sir, for these valuable inputs and for sharing your wisdom. You began by saying that we need to teach practical skills to our learners. You explained why we certainly need that. You also talked about our education system is primarily based upon that rote learning, and it is not very useful when we compare it with the global standards. You also talked about the importance of new proposed 5+3+3+4 system by NEP, and you shared your assessment that it is going to create huge impact. And then you also talked about the importance of the focus this NEP has given to those pre-primary segment. In fact, so during our past sessions, a lot of other educators also shared that this is for the first time when our government has recognized the importance of these early years. So big thanks, Chandok sir, for sharing your experience and wisdom with us. I would come back to you with questions.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I would invite Jasdeep Kaur ma'am. Jasdeep ma'am, over to you. If we can have your ideas in detail.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
As what I view about the national education policy, sir has beautifully talked about all the scenario. He has even talked about the next graduation purpose also, and the early childhood care also, where he has said that the 85% of a child's cumulative brain develops at the age of 6. And by that age, it's true, sir is true over here, that when the parents come to us, that they want to get their child admitted in the grade 1, and the child is not even prepared for the basic knowledge. So NEP over here is focusing on the basic knowledge from the day 1 of the child, from 0 to 3, and then from 3 to 6. So the preschool education on retention is the primary grade where the child and where the parents, they have to focus on. So the tragic deficiency, what we people are locating is that there is a difference between the advantage and the disadvantaged groups over here. NEP has also focused on this, that the families which have greater access to the role models and the school language, they have strong learning environment at home, their children definitely they are doing well. But where and these things are not available, their children lag behind, and throughout their schooling they lag behind on this. So NEP has on this have a question that what does quality ECC entail with it? So it is the sounds music, listening, playing, talking, stimulating all the other senses, which we have to give awareness to the parents that these are the most important years. Because 85% if we are talking about that the brain develops over here, so we have to encourage the parents, give them the knowledge. Until and unless we are not doing this, we cannot make the NEP policy strong over here, and we cannot even implement it unless parents and other stakeholders are not helping the schools on this. Because as NEP is focusing on the Anganwadis, matlab they are trying to locate Anganwadi to the nearest preschool and preschools to the primary schools. Their location is dependent on everything. Then again, we talk about as in the starting we had that there should be one school for the principals also for their training. Over here, NEP has talked that until and unless we are not having trained teachers for the early childhood care of the foundation stage for the child, we cannot make the Anganwadis and the pre-primary schools strong. So the impact is how much training we are able to give to the teachers over here. Is the NEP ready? Is all the MHRD ministry under which it is going to come? Can we focus on the teacher training? If yes, definitely it's going to be a very strengthened document, and we all can implement it very strongly. And the next is the curriculum pedagogical framework, what the early childhood framework is saying that the first part, that is 0 to 3 years, what we have to do is the basic learning aids we have to provide to the child, like how to make the toys from the waste material, the candies and everything. But on the next part, what when we ask the parents to do this, तो उनके लिए ये चीज हो जाती है, अरे स्कूल ने कितने पंगा पाता, ये चीजा हम कितों पाल के लेके आइए, राइट? मतलब we are developing the child's motor skills over here by giving them the aids, providing them all these things. So the parents, the stakeholders, teachers, everything, everybody have to work together on this for a strong implementation of this NEP. Then the second part, what the ECC is saying is that intended for the parents, that is 3 to 8 years of the age, that is grade 1 to 2, as sir has asked about the primary stage, which we have to be very strong. That the young children basic skills, communication skills in the language, mother language, colors, shapes, movement, games, elements, drawing, everything. Empathy also, empathy is missing in the children today, the basic good manners which is missing. So over here the national education policy states that the localized arts, songs, stories, rhymes, puzzles, riddles, knowledge, everything have to be very in a significant manner. And the facilities for the early childhood education is the new curriculum. That is, first we have to strengthen the expansion of the Anganwadi system to include a robust education component. And the second is locating of the Anganwadi with the primary schools. And the third is with the primary schools where possible alternative up to 3 years of quality preschools for the age to 3 to 6 years is there. Then the building stand alone preschools. So these things also matter. It's going to be a great challenge for this. And all these four components together will implement in accordance with the local needs and feasibility. So overall, the goal will be to ensure that every child of 0 to 6 years have free and easy access to quality education. Then is the universal access to quality early childhood education is perhaps the best thing which is going to be the India is going to give to the children. Because the detailed plan which was going to be outlined by 2019 and which the MHRD was going to give us, and in this the professionalization of high quality education educators for early childhood education was there to be given, in which the CPD, I think the CPD, the continuous professional development, the necessary facilities which they have to be provided and create for the initial professional preparation for these educators. So this is also there, one part. And the current Anganwadi workers, what they are doing, that the preschool education component opportunity to participate in 6 month special training program to enable them to carry out effective early childhood training is not there. Why? Because they are not given the trained teachers over there. Even their nutrition and the health is not taken care properly. And due to which I think they also lag behind due to proper nutrition. They lag behind for the studies. Then is the flexibility, the play-based activity based on education for the early childhood students up to 6 years, which I talk about. So each and everything matters over here for the regularity, for the implementation of the policy. We need the strong teachers, if and we need the collaboration of all the schools. We need the collaboration of the parents. We need the location of the pre-primary schools, primary schools, and the Anganwadi, so that all the children who are lag behind their attendance, they are there with us at the right age. Because mostly the parents, if they are not giving their child admission, we people are not giving, then they are moving to the other school where the basic requirements and the trained teachers are not there. So everything has to be there, which we have to follow together.
Right. So thank you, Jaspreet ma'am, for sharing these important points. You also said, you supported Chandok sir's point of view that the focus of NEP on the pre-primary segment is laudable, and that is going to create an impact.
That is
You
very
also,
important, because the early childhood care is very important. That is the basic of the child. Until and unless we are not focusing on the basic requirement of the child, which parents are lacking. Why? Because parents are not cooperating with us. Parents are not properly educated over there. We have to educate the parents first. Only then they are definitely going to cooperate to follow this. And definite is there the teacher training, which is must at the early stages of the child. What are his requirements at that age, and how the motor skills develop at that stage, the manners. At least the child should get it ready by himself at that age, that is the age of 6 years. So the teacher training is must, that so that we can follow this NEP at the early childhood. It is must.
absolutely, absolutely. So big thanks, Jaspreet ma'am, for sharing
Thank you,
these
sir.
valuable thoughts. I would come back to you with questions. Thank you,
Thank
Jaspreet
you,
ma'am.
sir. Thank you.
And now with this, I would request and invite HS Yadav sir. Yadav sir, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Uh, Thanks to the previous speakers who spoke very well, and they include all the points generally in the which are included in the new education policy 2020. And sir, today I'll be sharing my ideas, you can say, or the main point will be my point will be the efficient resourcing and effective governance through school complexes. So it is one of the point, agenda point of the new education policy. And I believe that the resource management is the main thing in order to implement anything. So before we implement the new education policy, we should be ready with the resources, or we should manage our resources in an effective manner. So I have prepared 2 to 3 pages slide. So I'll be sharing that slide also with you. So yes, just wait for 1 or 2 seconds, sir. So, as per the new education policy 2020, first thing is the school should be a point of celebration and honor for the whole community. And there is no, this you can say, no doubt that the schools are, the children are, the teachers are due to the society. If the society is there, then obviously our existence is meaningful. Otherwise, of no use, because we are meant to deal with the society. We are a part of society. We are a part of community. So, the dignity of the school as an institution should be restored, and the important days such as Foundation Day of the school will be celebrated along with the community and the list of the alumni. Here, as I mentioned, that the resource management is the very important key point. So here, I think the role of alumni may play a vital role in enhancing, in improving the infrastructure, the other points of the school or vidyalaya or the whatever the institution it is. So the list of the alumni may be displayed and honored, and we can invite the alumni for their better sharing of ideas, the help in running the school, and in many ways they will be proved to be helpful for the school, for the society. Next point is the unutilized resources like infrastructure and human resources should be shared and utilized for the welfare of the community. The school
Yadav
should.
sir, are you sharing your screen? Because
Yes, sir.
are
Yes,
you
sir.
sharing?
Is it not seen,
But
sir?
yeah, it's
Just
I don't, yeah,
I
I don't
thought that
able.
it was obvious, sir. One second, see. Am I audible, sir?
You are audible, sir, but your
Okay,
screen is
okay,
not visible.
okay. Yes. Just 1 second, sir.
No issues, Harish sir. You can speak also. You are reading, so we can understand that also.
Okay, sir. Okay, just 1 second.
It's okay, sir. We are listening to you. It's okay,
Yeah, we are
fine.
listening to you. It's
We are
okay.
listening, sir.
Our
Doesn't
screen
matter
also
if
is
the
okay, sir.
slide is not
Okay,
available.
sir. Okay,
We
okay,
like to see you. We like to see you, sir. Not the screen.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
a beautiful
so,
smile face we want to see, sir.
so,
Handsome.
my point this basically is the effective utilization of the resources or resource management. In that one, if we can share the school infrastructure with the society, especially when the school is over. And this we did when I was in Nagaland actually. Then we shared our playground with the local people. They used to come to the school, and they keep using, they used to, they keep on using our school ground for their development, especially for football and this badminton. So if and in turn of this in return of this utilization of the this playground, they used to come to school for teaching work. So as we know that in the remote areas there is scarcity of the teachers, the many teachers, and at the same time financial issues are also there. So the parents, the society, they on one hand they were using our playground, on the other hand they used to help us, number one, in teaching, because whenever we approached them that yes sir, we are not having the teachers, then they used to come to school for 2 hours, 3 hours, and they used to teach the physics, the chemistry, whatever field they were finding them expert, they used to keep. And in 1 month, 2 months, they kept on teaching continuously for 2 months even. So that what we actually I think you all will be agree that there is nothing new in the education policy, but still we have to, yes, rethink over it, that yes, how we can reuse, how we can use the people, the human resources. So I think if we keep ourselves in touch with the society, the people, then definitely they will be helping us in making the infrastructure and making the other things better. So in one thing is, if we can coordinate with the society, then definitely they will be helping us in increasing the infrastructure, this human this is the teaching. Second thing, yes, they can help us in a financial matter, in our financial matter also, because in Pathankot here, Punjab, we are using our resource of playground for the ex-students, and they are maintaining this ground free of cost. So that is one aspect again, that yes, we can help the society and society will be helping us. So in that way, I think in that way there will be other ways also. So as far as this infrastructure sharing, so after school hours we can share the infrastructure and we can get better results in the improvement of infrastructure. Second thing, this teacher enrichment. Teacher enrichment in our, in especially in the remote areas where the teachers training programs are very less, the teachers availability very less, then there we can use this teacher training program on a regular interval, so that we can have a better teaching efficiency among the teachers, and obviously they will be teaching better in this after these trainings. Because I acted as a resource person in many training programs, so I felt that the continuous teacher training programs play a very important role in enriching the contents as well as the teaching methodology for the better result of the school teaching of school students. So this is the one enrichment. Another is this just 1 second, sir. Another is the role of the government, as our topic is the effective governance. So obviously the government's role will also be in a very important point. So we should be in direct touch with the government authorities, especially when we talk about the Sahodaya Vidyalaya scheme, the Samagra Vidyalaya scheme, the as the education policy says that these schools should be Samajik Chetana Kendra. So we'll be acting as a Samajik Chetana Kendra when we'll be enhancing, well, when we'll be improving our human resources, the teaching resources, the infrastructural resources. So by improving the resources, and I think it is not a very difficult task to enhance, to improve the infra as well as the human resources, if we go with the positive attitude. So if we implement this NEP in a positive sense, by taking it positively, then definitely our task, our this implementation of the policy will be a successful one. Thank you. Have a nice day again.
Thank you, Yadav sir, for sharing these very important thoughts. You began by highlighting the importance of resource management, and we all agree with you, sir. It's a key. You also talked about why we need to make our schools a dignified place of joy, which should be seen as a dignified place of joy by everyone in society. You also talked about, you called upon all the educators, and you talked about the importance of effective utilization of resources. You also talked about the importance of sharing resources. So this NEP is also talking about sharing resources. So big thanks, Yadav sir, for sharing these valuable points. I would come back to you with questions. Thank you, sir. And now I would request and invite our last key speaker for this session, Jaswinder Singh sir. Jaswinder sir, over to you.
Thank you, Rajulji, and good evening, everybody. Stroke or four, and I'm there. Okay, so like I told you earlier, I come from the EdTech background, so I'm going to first start with technology. How are we going to use technology to achieve whatever is expected out of us? But as I suppose Jazeep ma'am did talk about it, Chandok sir also talked about it, and Yadav sir, you also have hinted somewhere that teachers play an important role, and we need to train the teachers properly. In fact, when Jazeep Kaur ma'am talked about it, that unless we train them, this is going to be a difficult task to achieve. And how are we going to excel into this? So my point would be that if we have to start training teachers, the first thing that we need to train them in is on IT skills, using the right